All right, guys, you just get off the ship in Bermuda. You're down the gangway, you're on the dock. What do you do now?
We're going to see the parrot.
What are we doing, guys? Do we even have a plan?
No plan. I have a map.
We have no plan, but we have a map. Let's go.
Hey there, I'm Rose.
And I'm Dan. And we are the Half-Ass Travelers. Well, Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore. Where are we, Dorothy? Why are you all bundled up?
We're freezing in New York.
Yeah, we're going on a cruise and we're all bundled up. What is wrong with this picture? These are our friends Shawn and Amber. We met them on a cruise several years ago and we've been cruising together
Ever since?
Yeah, ever since. We're going to be boarding the NCL Joy and we're going to be sailing to Bermuda. It is Rose and I's first time to Bermuda, and Amber and Shawn have been there 6 times, but they've only been ashore how many times?
Once.
One time. They've been there 6 times, cruising to Bermuda, and they've only gotten to go there once. So this is going to be great for all of us. So without further ado, let's take this bus ride to Manhattan, and then we'll join back up with you once we get on the ship. All right, we have been instantaneously transported from the bus from Albany to New York City to the docks at St. George, Bermuda. St. George? No, we're not in St. George. Oh, we're in Kings Wharf. Okay. Yeah, the ship docked in Kings Wharf this morning. We kind of fast forwarded the entire cruise so far. We had 2 sea days from New York, and during those 2 sea days, we accomplished the task of getting the most out of our drink packages. So we are in Bermuda for 3 days. The first day we're going to take it a little bit easy. Right now we're waiting in line right across from where we get off the ship. Norwegian Cruise Lines provides a water taxi to St. George's. They run the water taxi, I think it's 3 or 4 times a day. There are times when they'll give you the time schedule. In fact, I'll put it on the screen. Here's the time schedule. Okay, so we just got to make sure that you get back before that last scheduled time, because if you don't, it's about a $250 taxi ride to come back the long way. So you definitely want to make sure that if you're going to take this water taxi, that you get back on before the last ferry of the day. So our plan for today, after we get off the water taxi in St. George's, is we're going over to a beach that Shawn and Amber have been to before. As we said, Rose and I have never been to Bermuda. So we're going to start off easy. We're going to start off with something a little familiar, at least to half of us, and we'll take you with us and we will show you exactly where are we going?
Tobacco Bay.
Tobacco Bay. So that's our first stop. Let's go. So Shawn is clucking back there. You could tell he's happy to be in Bermuda. Now, too late, he's already on there. There's no shushing. There's no shushing, Shawn. It was about a 50-minute ferry ride over to, where the heck are we? St. George's. So now we're gonna try to grab a cab over to Tobacco Bay. Yep, oh look, everybody, they're all well armed here in Bermuda. Nice. Yeah, so this is how we're riding over to Tobacco Bay. Yeah, my arm's not long enough to get Shawn in there, but I don't know how he got the front seat. I don't know how that happened.
The little guy gets the front seat.
Yeah, the little guy. Him just a little guy. All right, when you get here, you pay for your chair and stuff at the bar, and they give you a wristband and hopefully a free drink. All right, half-assers.
Hi.
This is an absolutely gorgeous beach. This is Tobacco Bay. It was a $5 each cab ride to get over here. The chairs, however, are pretty steep.
Expensive,
Yeah.
yes.
If you want a chair, it's $25 a
Without
person.
an umbrella.
Yeah, and if you want an umbrella, it's $5 extra. Now they're not doing chairs and umbrellas today because they can't put the umbrellas up because it's too windy. And that might be an issue because it gets windy here, I hear quite a bit. So just keep that in mind. If you're coming over to Tobacco Bay, they do charge a pretty good premium for the chairs. So important to know.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna get to have some sunning and funning, and we're gonna show you all the sights. What do you got there, Rose? Oh yeah. Okay, Rose has identified an endangered species. A lot of the kids don't even know what this is. I've never seen one before. Our granddaughter, I don't think she's ever seen one at phone booth before in the wild. Yeah? It's Superman. You interrupted him from getting changed.
It's our pizza delivery boy. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. That's how we roll. Waterfront dining here in Bermuda. Well, we made it back onto the second to last ferry. We're coming back at 3 o'clock because we're not taking any chances. And tonight we're going to be dining with an officer, which we're waiting to see which officer they give us. It could be anybody. We're hoping it's the captain. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be awesome.
But I think that's rare. But we had a great day in Bermuda at Tobacco Bay. We've got 2 more days in Bermuda. So we still don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So I guess you'll find out when we do. See you then. Sing it, Shawn.
Day 2.
Day 2 in Bermuda. Yep, you guessed it. We are now in day 2. We have an idea of where we're going today, though, right?
A little bit.
Where are we going, Rose?
To the beach.
We're going to another beach. Horseshoe Bay?
Yes.
That's the name of the beach. We're going to the Pink Sand Beach. And that, we don't have to take a ferry over to St. George's because that one is in striking distance from the Naval Dockyard, which is where we're docked. So we're just going to be taking a cab or a minibus over there. The rates are reasonable. The minibuses are about $5 per person and the cab's about $9 a mile for up to 4 people. I think it's $11 for more than 4 people, like 5 to 8 people. But that's where we're headed. Hopefully the weather is starting to clear. It was a little cloudy this morning, but it looks like the sun is starting to peek through. So we have high hopes that this is going to be a beautiful pink sand beach experience. All right, let's get going. This is how Shawn is riding over to Horseshoe Bay. You can see he's very limber.
And the driver's named Ian.
Ian.
Everybody, my name's Ian. I'll be a driver to Horseshoe Bay.
Well, we just arrived at Horseshoe Bay, and as you can see, this is a much larger beach than we were visiting yesterday, and it has a really nice cove on one end that's very scenic. It was about a 20-minute bus ride from the port. Yes?
Extremely long bus ride.
It was long when you have people sitting next to you coughing and hacking, so Yeah, that part wasn't enjoyable for Rose, but Shawn and I, as you saw, were in the kind of squeezed into the front, so we got some good video, at least. Yay. All right, let's enjoy this beach. Well, we're got a secret for you, and don't tell anybody. But when you come to this beach, just keep walking to the left along the water. Just keep walking along the water, and you'll see that there are breaks in the rocks, and there are many little secluded coves. It's beautiful. The rise, as you saw, the water is perfect blue, and it's not even sunny out. I can't even imagine what this place would look like in the sun. But there's all kinds of coves and stuff down here. A lot of people don't take the time to walk down to the end, but if you do, you will be rewarded with some really beautiful scenery. Now it's time to enjoy it.
Let's go.
Well, that ends our day in Horseshoe Bay. Ooh, that rhymes. I'm a poet, didn't even know it. We had a great time at the beach, and now we're on the shuttle on the way back to the ship. It's the same deal, $7 per person, and they take you right back to where we started. So hopefully we'll get some nice footage on the way back.
Yes.
Well, we just made it back from the island tour. Our driver was very informative, and as you can see, there's a lot to see on this island that's not just around the big cities. Now, we would normally be done filming for the day. However, we have a surprise for you tonight. We have signed up for a shore excursion. We hope it goes. The weather has been kind of iffy, but we're supposed to be doing a sunset cruise, and if that's the case, we're gonna bring you with us. You can talk. Woo, there you go. Hey, luckily, look at that. That's actual shadows on the ship. That means the sun has come out, at least a little bit, just enough for us to see an awesome sunset. So let's get onto this catamaran and get some nice, pretty, sunset pictures?
Yes.
And don't forget the Rum Swizzles.
Yep.
We didn't mention the Rum Swizzles, I don't think, on any of the other videos, but that's a drink that's kind of, like a thing here in Bermuda. And we have not had a single one yet. And we have been here, 2 days now? So we're way overdue.
We're going to be swizzling it up tonight, though.
Yes, we're swizzling. All right, let's go.
back out on the water. We're going to see, hopefully, an amazing sunset. With
Yes.
my honey.
Yes, with the Rum Swizzles.
With the Rum Swizzles.
These aren't bad. They're very similar to like the rum punches we get in the Caribbean and the planters punches we get by us.
Yeah.
Very similar. Very good though.
Yep.
Cheers. All right, well, half-assers, we just finished our sunset cruise in Bermuda, and Bermuda is just as beautiful at night as it is during the day. We had such a great time. We highly recommend that. It was only like an hour. We were only out there about, what, an hour and a half?
I think something like that.
Yeah. And, but they do have the Rum Swizzles, as you can tell by our friends. So, we have one more day in Bermuda. Tomorrow we're gonna get up. I guess we're not gonna get up that early because some people are gonna need to sleep in. But other than that, we're gonna explore the dockyard and the area
And the
right by
fort.
where the ship is.
Yeah, the fort.
So, and the fort. Oh yeah, definitely the fort and the museum.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, we're heading there next.
Good night. Good morning, half-assers.
Good morning. It is day 3 in Bermuda. Now, a lot of cruises only visit for one day. Luckily, the Norwegian ship was here. The one out of New York was here for 3 days. So we got to see a lot more. And today, we don't have a full day. We have to be back on board by 2:30. So what we did is we decided to save for last probably the easiest thing you can do off the ship in Bermuda, and that's just to walk across the street. As you can see behind us, we are docked at the Royal Navy Dockyard, and the ship is right about here. In fact, we're standing right here. So basically we're gonna walk around up in here. We're gonna go check out the commissioner's house and the museum, and we're gonna walk around town and take a look at all the historic buildings and the shops and restaurants and bars in that order.
Yep.
All right, let's get going. You don't even have to walk far from the ship to see the fort and the downtown area with all of its historic buildings. And this is where we left on our ferry trip day before yesterday. This looks like the spot where you would park your scooter if you decided to rent a scooter on a multiple day cruise and you had to leave it overnight. Those are big anchors. What'd you say?
I think Bigfoot was here.
Bigfoot was here? Well, you certainly can't get lost. Follow the green footsteps to the museum. Morning, sir. So is this a free shuttle?
Yes, sir.
All right. And this goes from the ship right up to the museum?
Downtown Mall and comes back around.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right.
The high cave was an 1870s magazine in a collapsed high cave equipped with a light passage and ammunition winches to hoist shells and cartridges above ground. So apparently the ammunition was stored down there, and in this tunnel there are winches. You see those green doors? Those winches have pulleys where they brought the ammunition up and it was covered from enemy fire. It was a little bit safer. Pretty cool. Rose is demonstrating the size of these cannons. They're absolutely massive. Wow. That one looks like it's blown its barrel. This snorkel beach is about a 5 to 10 minute walk from the ship. They charge about a $15 entry fee, and I'm sure they charge for chairs, and there's a restaurant and bar there. But the snorkeling is fantastic. All of these rock formations just under the waterline, crystal clear green water, blue water. This is absolutely gorgeous. We didn't get a chance to do that on this trip, but we will definitely do it on the next trip. This is a pretty substantial gun mount. You can see the mounting bolts right into the concrete and all the tie-down chains for the cannons and all of the rails that they would have ridden on as they were rotating. Well, a lot of them are over here. They're a little rusted out. But they also have old propellers and anchors and chains. They have little things like this all over the museum. This is really neat to see. It's just really cool. If you look at this cannon emplacement, you'll see it's on wheels, and there's a rail, and that rail goes slightly up. And that's so when the gun is fired, the recoil will have the gun travel up the rails, but gravity will slow it so it doesn't go completely back. And that adds a lot of oomph and firepower to the cannon. Really nice, really neat design, really cool. Oh yeah, and Rose just pointed out, see these rails that we had on the ground over there? This is how they worked. The thing could be rotated to fire at any ship within a 180-degree arc. And there's another one there. Yep. And here's the mounting point without the cannon on top of it. These are all over the place. All right, in this emplacement, they've got replica ammunition right down here. You can see the size of these cannon shells. And then this gun is absolutely massive. Just wow, a 10-inch gun. It's also on that level that uses gravity to deal with the recoil, and it's got the tracks that allow it to be rotated. This one looks like about a 270-degree arc that this thing could fire. Very cool. I know I'm going on and on about the architecture and design of these gun emplacements, that this one is not on a track, but it is on wheels, and the hard concrete that it is on, I think that may be limestone actually, is also at an angle. So again, the recoil is making it go uphill. Great design. Some of you may be wondering why these cannons have to be so fat. Modern day cannons, like the one up there, a little more modern, have a much more sleek design. It's because the metal that they were using was of a different quality and strength than the modern day metals. So they had to make it extra thick to make sure that the cannon didn't destroy itself rather than firing the projectile out the barrel. And you can see, this is something interesting in this one, you can actually see the rifling of the barrel. This is not a smoothbore cannon. There's rifling, which rifling gives a twist to the round coming out of the barrel. That makes it carry a much straighter trajectory and much more accurate. The positioning of this particular battery is important because Bermuda is surrounded by a coral reef, completely surrounded by a coral reef. There's only one entrance for the larger ships that they would have been able to make, and that's right here where our cruise ship came in. And this whole battery just guards that approach. So unless it was one of the smaller ships, which could get into the tighter places, any large ships approaching to attack the island had to come through here. And they were sitting ducks. Look at the size of the breech on this cannon. Holy cow. Wow. This one had a much more modern operating mechanism. You can see it looks like there's hydraulics in there. There's also a huge, had to have been an engine underneath. Maybe we'll go down and take a look because there's stuff underneath this battery that raised and lowered the gun. And wow, this is just, I love looking at stuff like that. And if you like looking at that stuff, you're just gonna love this place. Okay, here's an interesting thing we just found. These look like they were used for storing powder ammunition. They bring the ammo up. It looks like they were bringing the ammo up using a chute. There's a pulley system in here, and you can see it's curved at the top to bring the ammunition right out here to set here so they can load it into these ready-to-fire bays. Let's see if we can go down and see where they store the ammunition underground. I'm not sure if this is ammunition storage areas or if they had some of the gunners that would come here to hunker down when they were under fire, or I'm not really positive. We'll have to look into that. If I can find out, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. Lots of storage under here. Oh yeah, look at this. You can see the benches. There we go. Look, there's looks like a pass-through for the ammunition. Oh, and there, we gotta go back around because there is the bottom of that lift we saw. Yeah, this is the bottom of that ammunition lift. Yep. So they would put the ammo, you see the chain there, to pull it up, and then they would send it up to the gun. And they had storage, as we saw up there. There's more of the chain with the drive motor, and then here's another one. Again, you can see it's wood. It's made out of wood in this concrete shaft. Really neat design. You can see the hand crank. Here's another one of those chutes. So this one has the crank on the wall, like the last one had, but it was missing the crank. So this shows you the operation. This is the angle chute. And the other one, we'll see if it's still, yep, here's a vertical chute. Also with the crank. It's amazing the condition these things are in. It's really neat. And they had plenty of storage room for the ammunition. Here's the top to the vertical chute. Ooh, this one's got a little bit of a different design too. Here's the top of the angled chute. It's really cool how they have the different guns from the different eras preserved. Rose is enjoying herself too much. Sheepgate. More gun emplacements. Well, this is something that's a little bit different. Inside the fort, there is a dolphin experience, and you can pay a little bit extra and swim with and feed the dolphins. That's interesting. Wow, very cool. I wonder if the ship gives an excursion for that. If your ship does do an excursion, I'd imagine you could do it without the ship excursion. It's like I said, it's only a 5-minute walk from the ships. You could probably get your tickets over here, maybe a little bit less expensive that way. Yeah, it looks like the harbor that was inside the fort was converted into a dolphin pen, because you can see the archway there that leads out to outside the wall and lets the ocean water in. So I imagine they were able to bring supplies by boat directly into the fort, which is a very neat little feature. We walked all the bastions, we looked at all the cannons and the gun emplacements, and now we're going to go in and check out the commissioner's house. As you can see, 1881. That's a later construction. This whole site is a lot older than that. Let's go inside and take a look what's in there. My Rose, you've changed.
Hey.
I'll get in the picture. Okay. Well, we spent like the last, how long were we in there? About 2 hours?
Yeah.
All right, so that tour was actually much better than we thought. We saw the $18 fee and we thought, is this thing gonna be worth $18? It was worth $18 and more, but don't tell them that. It was a great tour. We enjoyed looking at all the guns and the bastions and the architecture and the design of that fort. It's amazing. And all of the historical goodies that were inside the buildings, the commissioner's house and some of the other places. And the bonus on top was the dolphins. Yeah. Love to see that. But we're done with the walk around there. The weather is starting to get a little bit windy and cloudy. So we're gonna walk around just a little bit more around the dockyard here and see what there is to see, and then we're going to need to get on the ship because we're also running out of time.
Yep.
We hope you enjoyed that. Follow us along. We're still moving. Still moving.
Okay, so this ends our day in Bermuda.
Actually, our 3 days in Bermuda.
Yeah. Well,
There is so much to do here. We could only cover, you know, what we could do in 3 days, and we could stay here a week and still not do everything on the island. And you can even, if you look behind us, you can see there's all kinds of tours. You don't necessarily need to do a ship excursion in Bermuda. There's a lot to do without it. If you do a ship excursion, that's fine too, because everything here is gorgeous. The beaches are beautiful, the snorkeling is great, and the
very
tours,
clean. Everything's very clean.
very clean. So we had a great time in Bermuda. We're definitely coming back. We saw some things that we definitely have to do, which we didn't get a chance to do this time. So we hope you enjoyed that video. If you liked it, please think about subscribing and leave us a like. Also, don't forget to ring that bell for notifications of new videos, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We hope you enjoyed. Happy travels.